scratch first and then talk to the camera instead of the monitor.
It's Mike O'Neil with the Integrated Alliances show here, and we're going to do a little bit of an episode on the Who.
Who?
Who's that?
Who's who?
Who's next?
Who's Quadrophenia?
Quadrophenia. We're going to do it specifically maybe on Quadrophenia because we've got some extra memorabilia here. We're going to share some of my Who memorabilia.
Some of your Who memories and the memorabilia from your
I have very good memories. I remember a lot about these shows.
And you took notes.
I took notes, exactly. One of the things I thought I'd go over is what do you think a Who concert costs? I guess you're not the right one to ask.
Well, you shouldn't ask me because I've already looked. I was like, wow, this one was $158. That was in
That's a good
2002.
show.
It better be a good show. But
Good show.
Even 2 years earlier, it was only 80. But then you explained that this was the third seat in on the third row. That's pretty special. And you didn't pay full face value for it.
No, I got some deals. I know how to work tickets at places. That's another whole show, but I really do know how to work the deals at places. And it involves getting tickets on the street the day of the show.
Right.
That's what it involves.
You're taking a chance.
So let's go back even on the walls over here are the annals of earlier Who history with me.
In the early 80s.
In the early 80s. So in 1980 it was $12.
Wow.
Now
were you up in the bleachers?
No, this is I was upstairs, so it was row 5. But you're right. It was a 200 level seat. Always be aware, 200 level seat. That means you're 300 level. I saw the Dixie Chicks in the 300 level.
Wow.
Whoa, it's a good show. Whoa, boy, that's something else. So $12 in 1980.
Wow.
And I'll tell about the show in 1980. Some friends of mine there from Harlan, Iowa. I was in a fraternity. I'm at Iowa State University. I'm in a fraternity, and it was like three blocks away, not even that, a couple blocks away to this place where it's playing. Just walk on over with the frat boys. And one of them takes his shirt off. He's from Harlan, Iowa. He takes his Harlan shirt off, throws it up on stage, and Roger Daltrey puts it on, and I have a picture of him with it on. It's on the wall over here. We'll go through the Who halls of history.
Well, I saw the picture when we hung that frame up.
That's it.
You got tickets from the early 80s and the mid 80s and the late 80s, and each one of those sets, you've got a picture from one of the shows. I noticed. So I meant to ask you about that.
So it was it was $12 then, and then it was $17. I was at Sun Devil Stadium. This was their farewell tour. I have a good story here.
This was
from 1980 to 82. So I transferred from Iowa State University to Arizona State University, thinking it would be more fun, and yes, it was. Are you surprised? Yes, it was a lot more fun. But it was a lot more fun because of the weather for a lot of the time. When are you in school? During the best time of the year to be in Phoenix. Come on. Oh, it's great.
Usually
and then in the summer you go somewhere else. It's
not quite so hot.
It's great. It's great. So anyhow, it was $17, and it was a general admission concert.
Right. So you went in and got as close as you could.
God, you waited outside. I mean, GA shows. They didn't have GA shows after about then. That's when the Cincinnati people died, right in the early 80s there, remember?
Right.
Trampled to death in Cincinnati, I believe. It was a Who concert, I believe.
Wow.
It wasn't Who. I think it was a Who concert. So then we went from there to the $71, which is this tour here.
Quadrophenia. The entire words and music written by Pete Townsend.
Yeah, so what instrument does Pete Townsend play?
A guitar.
Very good.
Wait, I was looking at your shirt, the back of your shirt, and it has the members of the Who, members of the band on it, and on the back of your shirt, it has everybody's name. I've seen Pete Townsend's name I don't know how many times, but this is the first time I realized it had an H.
Ah. So
and I usually see it here where the H stands up, and this time it's all caps, and it's the first time I recognized
So here's our social media tie-in for that. We always find something. We talk about rock, we get a social media tie-in. People misspell my name.
All the time. N-E-I-L-L or N-E-A-L or Mike. I don't know how else you do Mike, but
yeah, a lot of ways. So what do I do about that?
Well, in your contact settings down at the bottom of your profile, somewhere in your profile, you have common misspellings of my name.
So no matter how Pete Townsend might spell his name, if he were doing a LinkedIn profile
or Twitter or anything else,
we would be coaching him, coaching you, like we're coaching you here, to put all the common misspellings of your name along in with it and stuff. So well, we're going to do a whole series on the Who here. Let's this series here, this part here is about ticket prices. So
so
this show was $71.50.
And you were in section AAA, row 16. What's that mean?
I had a really great seat. Oh boy, yeah.
AAA, row 16, seat
You know,
1.
a couple of things. Whenever you hear double or triple letters, that means closer, not further.
Okay.
Okay, you're never further away if you're a triple letter.
Okay.
I've never seen that, at least. Maybe there's someplace.
So where's AAA?
The third row, first row. That would be a first.
The
row
first
seat.
section, and then row 16.
Yeah, the section AAA row 16. So I'm 16 rows back, and that depends on where you are around there. I had a good seat looking at it and stuff, but that was 16 rows back, which is really good for a hockey arena.
Right.
You know, beat about a third of the way up from the bottom.
Right.
So you can go get beers, you can go to the bathroom. You're just low enough that you're kind of at a good sight line. I like to be right at red line.
Right.
Between red line and blue line, and the early blue line in hockey. You know how that is?
Yes.
So for those shows, but that was probably a pretty good seat. What do we got next?
Next, you were at the Who concert at the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado, on August 24th, 2000, and you only paid. Well, did you pay $80? The ticket.
Well, I
says
probably paid
80.
less than $80
Okay.
for that. Yeah. So
Your
what kind of seats are we in?
Section 122.
Lower level, 122.
Row 13, seat 1. I'm seeing a lot of these seat 1 things going on. So you got a favorite number or something?
You know, it's a strategy. It's not just a who strategy, but who are you? I'm the guy who sits on the aisle when I can, because
So
I
you
like
can
to
go
dance in the aisle.
You like to dance in the aisle and go on walkabout.
I like to go walk, but I'll be gone for a half an hour at a time. Seriously, a whole beer.
Oh,
I'll be gone for a whole beer. I'll go to get a beer.
Uh-huh.
I'll get a new beer, and I'll just walk around, see the different angles of the stuff, and by the time I'm ready to kind of go back, it's gone. So I got to get another one or two,
And then come back.
and then come back to the seat again. It's gone walkabout. Do you know where that name comes from?
Australia.
Australia. Who says that?
The
Crocodile Dundee says that one.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he go and walkabout. He goes go and walkabout in New York. That's a little different.
It's a little different. Well, we got one
What's
more
the
ticket
last
here.
one here?
September 2002 at Fiddler's Green with special guest. I don't. You were
I was in the third row. I was in
section
the third row on the aisle.
103,
The third row on the aisle for the Who
C.
at Fiddler's Green. Now Fiddler's Green's an outdoor amphitheater where you have it's this big hill area.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And we've been there.
Yes,
we had good
couple
seats.
times.
We were always way down, weren't we?
Exactly.
It's reserved seats, and then there's a row where you kind of all commerce happens, where people go up and down. You got to check your seat to go down. There's another set of reserved, and then there's grass up there, and you can always go up, but you can't go down. You know what I mean? So you can. So I like a seat up top. Well, good. Get a seat down below, and then go up top, because then you can go downtown too.
Right.
Downtown's where it's happening.
That's what they say.
Down front.
That's
So
what they say.
how much was that?
$158. Michael, the price doubled. It doubled
Now,
in 2 years.
So here's something that's happened. Okay.
Okay.
So what's happening here really is that there's segmented ticket pricing. So we're going to confine this little deal here to ticket pricing. So
Okay.
what's happening is they're coming out with ticket pricing now that isn't. You can walk right up to a Madonna concert and get a front row ticket.
Right.
For $495, you can,
Right.
because they're changing the pricing of the ticket based on where things are, and that's what happened there. These first two shows, it was the same price for the ticket, no matter where you were, I believe, or at least not highly segmented with the Supreme tickets down front.
Right.
So hey, so there's the Who. Let's talk more about the Quadrophenia actually next time,
Okay.
and so that's a little bit about concert tickets. It went from $12 to $17 to $71 to $80 to $158.
Wow.
So that's a 10x. In 22 years. 22 years.
But
Not bad,
it's a
not bad.
100% increase in 2 years.
But that's third row.
Yeah, that's the third row.
Once you do that, you'll never go back. Hey, so it's Mike O'Neil and Lori Ruff for the Integrated Alliance's show Rock the World. We're rocking the world with our online presence. That's what we do here is kind of talk to you about how social media and rock and roll can kind of help you out